Now it's time for I Challenge You 5Ds, the show that goes to show that not every hero needs an arch nemesis. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. I don't like that quote, and I'm glad 0% went for it, but it's starting to feel awfully prescient. Grab a synchro and jump on your duel runner because it's time to open packs, build decks with our pulls, and send our bots into all new forms of mechanized melee. We're hitting the road running this season with wild new blessings, even tougher challenges, and a ban list made to hit the gas on this format. So without further ado, let's rev it up. And welcome back, kings, queens, and monarchs of every element, to I Challenge You, Yu-Gi-Oh! We are facing down the greatest challenge ever. And to make sure we're as prepared as possible, we're opening things right at the end of the last episode. We are all going deep into the tank to take out the Reptilliyang Zing threat. We will not stand for another episode under its boot. We will not be deterred from winning this match. And it's time for the Wheel of Blessings and then 3 of the best packs we've opened in this series so far. Let's start with the wheel. Any one of these would be incredible. I do love the bisexual pack spinner thing we've got here. Power play. Okay, power play is an interesting one. Structural support would have been our ideal one here, but power play is pretty good for us. Power play is a blessing wherein we can take any one of our cards from the deck that we're playing this week and make it a 3 of, even if we don't have 3 copies of it. We have a lot of good 1-ofs to work with that may be able to help us in this matchup, and that means we can have them as 3-ofs. I think this is going to help us out a huge amount with the cards that specifically deal with the Reptilliyang Zing matchup. It's, again, not my ideal, but we'll take it. For our packs today, we are starting off with one of the strongest Hidden Arsenal sets. It's this and 7, Hidden Arsenal 4, Trishula's Triumph. Then it's Extreme Victory, and finally Gold Series 4, Pyramids Edition. Let's see what we can get. Starting with pack number 1. Dragunity Primus Pilus. That's not good. It's not a good card. Pack 2. Oh, there's the Trishula right off the bat. Jirak Aolo is also a great tuner monster. If we start doing Jirak things, we can attack in with Gwaiba over something, get the Aolo, and go into Catastor, which if we have DNA Transplant on the board is basically an invincible monster. But Trishula is the queen of this set. If we can get multiples, maybe this card can take us over the edge. Gen X Ally Power Cell. Ooh, there's Gen X Ally Crusher. This is a very cool card. I'm not sure if the bot can use it effectively. We would need to be able to protect it, but it is a very cool card for potentially future episodes. Neo Flamvel Saber at Secret Rare. Excellent. Naturia Mantis is a pretty solid card too. Naturia Exterio. We don't really have a way of summoning this. Oh, I guess we do. We have Miracle Synchro Fusion, but it would be very difficult. There's Ancient Flamvel Deity. Not an incredible card, but it is certainly a playable one. There's another Crusher, okay. The Fabled Unicorn is an interesting one to think about. It's a Fabled tuner and 1+ non-tuner monsters. If you have the same number of cards in hand as your opponent, it negates all effects activated by your opponent. It would be difficult to regulate that, but the Reptilliyang Zing deck, as we learned when we tried to play Summon Curse, doesn't keep many cards in its hand. Dragunity Knight Barcha. Doesn't do anything. Okay. Dragunity Knight Trident. Also doesn't do anything. Not doing so great so far. Wow, these packs have not been inspiring. We're looking for copies of Birdman specifically. Birdman is the real card that we want here. Raiho is basically a Summon Curse. Oh. Yeah, Raiho is actually very good for the no fun deck. Huh. There's a Landois. Landois is a monster negate. It's pretty decent, but you have to discard specifically spell cards, and spell cards are very hard to hold on to in this series. Landois is actually an interesting one. It's worth our looking into. The thing that I'm noticing, we pulled 3 Crusher so far, we pulled the Trishula, now we need that super rare, the Birdman. Drac Aolo, okay, we're full up on those. Corseska will be great with Dragon Rulers, I'm sure. There's a second Raiho, okay, I was disappointed to see that before, but now I'm kind of excited. There it is, with 10 packs left. That's our first Birdman. If we can see 2 more, there are a few decks worth making. Javelin's kind of cool. The Fabled Kudabi is also kind of sick. There's another Kudabi. You didn't have to. A third Kudabi. This is what I get for opening my mouth. 6 packs left. Can we get the bird? I don't know. I think these packs are giving me the bird. All right, 3 packs left to get 2 more Birdman. Not going so hot, is it? Another Crusher. Exactly what I wanted. Gen X Ally Triarm does not much. Okay, good to know. And final pack of Hidden Arsenal 4. Looks a lot like the rest. Okay, so one thing to keep in mind, Fabled Unicorn is something potentially worth building around, and General Raiho is really good against their deck. Worth considering. Into the binder with that. On to our core set for the night. We've suffered from extreme defeat, but now, perhaps, extreme victory. This would have been incredible in the TCG. TG Striker is very good, though. Tour Guide from the Underworld, not going to do as much for a while. Serene Psychic Witch is a genuinely good card. We do gain a huge upgrade to our Psychics in this set. A second secret rare in our second pack. Sure, why not? Serene Psychic Witch again and TG Werewolf. That's great. A third holo, Karakuri Cash Shed. This is a negate. Activate only if you control a Karakuri monster in face-up defense position. Negate the activation of an opponent's spell trap card. Second TG Werewolf is great. Also, Unknown Synchron is pretty good for just summoning Catastor. It only works once per duel, but once per duel is probably enough. Salvage Warrior. We finally didn't get a holo. Summons a tuner. That's cute. Lifestream Dragon. We have the power tool, I guess. There's W Nebula Meteorite. Probably not that good in our format. TG Rush Rhino, though, is phenomenal, and that's our third Werewolf. 6-style dual wield is actually kind of hot. If you control 1 6 Samurai monster, target 2 cards your opponent controls, return those targets to the hand. A Junk Servant at rare, but hey, there's Elder of the 6 Samurai. Elder is extremely good for us because it's a special summonable 3 from hand. Oh yeah, also Nanishi is great for Karakuri stuff. Jin, the Rain Shadow. Hold up. Jin, the Rain Shadow beats Swanee, and it also beats Vasky. Maybe? Hey, there's a second TG Striker. Our TGs are looking great. And there's an Elder of the 6 Samurai. We got 2 of those and an Esper Girl. If we get a third Serene Psychic Witch, that's really a deck worth considering. TG Wonder Magician. Okay, there's another Rush Rhino. That's off some. And our first Morphtronic Staplin. Let's go. TG X3 DX2. It's a draw card. Trade Toad. There's another Esper Girl. Not bad. We're about halfway through. We've pulled 1 or 2 Elders. We've pulled 1 Staplin, and we're doing really well on TGs. I'd love to see that continue. Buster Blaster at rare. There's our third Serene Psychic Witch. That's very solid. There's our third Elder and our second Staplin. Another Trade Toad and third Staplin. We love to see it. Brain Hazard. Okay, that's not bad. Out of our last few packs, it would be very nice to see more Rush Rhinos and more TG Strikers. What can we get? Scrap Orthros. Sure, why not? Also our first Resonator Call. Is that our third secret rare out of this set? Our third unusable secret rare? Another Jin. This is a very funny card. Shien's Dojo. Huh. Shien's Dojo summons a 6 samurai or Shien monster from your deck whose level is equal to or less than the number of 6 samurai monsters that you've summoned. Okay. All right. I think we can work with that. And for our last pack of Extreme Victory, our last core set of 5Ds, Shien's Advisor. What does this card do? So in order to summon you control 6 samurai, declare a monster type, and the monsters with declared monster type can't declare an attack. It's terrible. But I feel like we've done really, really well on our commons and rare slot out of this set. And I'm very happy to see a Shien's Dojo. The last core set of 5Ds has been pretty big for us. But it's not the last thing that we have. The last thing that we have could blow this series wide open. It's time for Gold Series 4. 3 packs of this. I don't remember exactly what is in the common slot. The common slot could make or break this set for us. Starting off with Pot of Avarice is honestly a pretty good pull. Have we banned Pot of Avarice? Did we ban that card? Pretty sure we got copies of it. Don't look like we banned it. Okay. All right, we can work with that. Gravekeeper's Spy is not great, and neither is Celestia, but Trade-In is good to see. That's a great draw card. Oh, and Deck Devastation Virus. That's interesting. I banned Deck Dev. Boo. All right, round 2. Morphing Jar and Obelisk. Okay, this seems like a meme, but Obelisk might be pretty good. Oh, it can tribute itself. That's okay. You're not going to get to tribute itself the turn you summon it. Maybe usable. Eradicating Aerosol to deal with insects. All right. Last pack of the season of the 5Ds era. What do we got? Actually... Oh, I banned Royal Oppression and Spirit Reaper. Okay, we really gained a lot out of this one. Wow, this pack really accomplished a lot, didn't it? I hyped this up for so much stuff, and it did not deliver. It didn't deliver in the slightest. Let's go to deck build. All right, that's that. I'm leaving. Now, it is a unspoken rule of I Challenge You that I'm not allowed to do any play testing at all. That's just because the nature of this series means that any playtesting I do basically tells me the result of our match before it even begins. Every time we play, it's the first time I've seen this deck work. However, that doesn't prevent the Discord from cooking up things, and we've had some absolute heroes working day and night for the last week to engineer something that might finally bring down the Reptilliyang Zing Scourge. Amphi, Double, Austin CK, and Leo Power Tool, especially those last 3, have been deep in the tank for this week. And man, oh man, have they come up with some banger decks to go up against the terror that is Reptilliyang Zing. Oh, and of course, the creator of this terror, Lairon, has been working to help us to undo the horror that they've brought into this world. For those who need a reminder, this is Reptilliyang Zing, a deck we all know all too well at this point. This is Lairon's monster, much like Frankenstein's monster, gone beyond what we expected from its potential, and has gone on to do atrocities unto the world. It uses Reptilian Recoil and all the 0-attack Yang Zings to keep reoccurring the Reptilians and getting all the value it can out of them. It's got a ton of removal, and it finally has Reptilian Vasky, the card that absolutely cleans our clock every time it lands on the board. This deck has wrecked us for 2 weeks straight now, and it's time for us to finally put it to rest. I have decided, though, that if we can't beat it in our 3 decks that we have brought today, it deserves to go into the Hall of Fame and have us move on so that you all can have some real content. This deck has committed atrocities against Borgerbot, and it's time for us to lay it to rest. And our first candidate to do so is belovedly nicknamed the Dub. This is Leo Power Tools Worms. This deck is really, really silly. It aims to use Solidarity to get maximum value out of the high attack point worms that exist in this format. It uses even things like Worm Tentacles, which I will be calling that for the remainder of the episode, to get multiple attacks in per turn. Worm Warlord is the boss monster of the deck, and it reads like a custom card for this matchup. This card cannot be special summoned. It negates the attack or the effects of any effect monsters that it destroys, and if it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, it gets to attack again in a row. This card is BLS plus Ancient Gear Beast, and it's nutty. The rest of this is entirely just getting big numbers on the board between the Solidarities, the Shine Palace, and the final attack orders to make all the Yang Zings hang out in attack position. Goes in match to lock them down under one attribute, which prevents them from comboing most of the time, and some more preventative defensive cards to keep up our big bodies. This is about the most Unga Bunga I have ever seen an I Challenge You deck get, and I think this can do it. It's going to be a close one, folks. All right. With all of the Discord's power behind us, we go to battle to bring the snakes down from this plane. I asked chat, can we bring the Dub? And 100%, well, most of 100%, all but 20 points, went to Like the Meteorite, because we cannot stand for another Reptilliyang. All right, let the games begin. All right, starting off with a Dub and rock, paper, scissors for the Reptile on Reptile Violence. We're going to normal summon Granadora. Gandora? Is it just Gandora? Granadora. Okay, we got 9,000 life points to our name. They're setting a monster. Our Granadora is too powerful for them. We're going to go to main phase. We're going to tribute some of the Warlord. There's a widespread ruin. There's my body as a shield. Worm Warlord is going to take out that face down monster. It's going to negate its effects, and we're going to attack directly. Damage equals Reptile does trigger, because unfortunately this is a reptile. There's the offerings to the snake deity, and it will resolve, but they currently don't got a lot to work with. They're going to normal summon Swanee. Swanee is bad for us. It is their biggest normal summon. We're going to Draining Shield to get a little bit of life back. That'll help us to keep us in the game for longer. We're going to set a monster. Ooh, not ideal. If that's the Worm Demickles, then we may be in a little bit of trouble. There's the Worm Demickles. It doesn't get its effect because it resolves after the damage step, and we draw for turn. Set another monster. No back row. This isn't great. There's Reptilliyang Naga. They're going to use the field spell to destroy Naga and get Nyami. They're going to attack in. That's Zex. Ooh, Zex, one of the best normal summons that we have in the deck. Not going to be able to use its effect. We're going to normal summon the Alien Warrior. Interesting choice given our situation. I suppose the Nyami is on the board, which does give us a thing to attack into. We're going to add some A counters. Let's see if that matters. We're going to draw for turn. We're going to set a monster. This is not ideal. A simplified game state like this does not favor Borgerbot. They're going to go for King of the Pharaoh Imps. King of the Pharaoh Imps is going to get Lamia. They're going to go into battle. They're going to attack with the Gakagiko. Okay, we're in a little bit of trouble. We really, really need to draw a combination of back row and monster. There's the back row. Let's see if we can get the monster. They're going to go for the King of the Pharaoh Imps effect. They're going to get a Kawato. Kawado's effect. Special summons it. Special summons Lamia. Lamia's effect. Going to add Vasky. They now have Vasky. They've got the double Lam. There's the Melusine. They're just going off into their biggest boss monsters, and we have nothing. An Alien Brain would get us there, but we don't have it. We do not have another turn in the bank. This is enough to kill us on board. They're going to go into battle phase. That's 23, 25, and ooh, things are not looking good for the hope of Borgerbot. But I believe, I've heard that this is a nail biter of a matchup, and if my nails are being bitten, then that's a good sign for Borgerbot, and that just like the SK Telecom League of Legends days of old, O2 is exactly where they want to be. Let's go game 2. Wait, we're not O2. We're just O1. Whatever. We're on match point, and match point is where we're going to win. Normal summon the Gagagigo. This is pretty good. Swanee is a little bit of a problem for us, but if they're going to set a monster face down, that means that monster is at Swanee. We're going to draw for turn. Normal summon another Gagagigo. They're going to Widespread Ruin. That's perfectly fine. We have a second Gagagigo. They're going to go Chiwen into Pulau. This is great. This means they cannot summon basically any of the decent cards in their deck. They're going to set a back row. They are on Pulau Pass. We are going to go to main phase, go to battle phase. We'll attack into the Pulau. I'm curious what else is in our hand, given that we haven't normal summoned or set any back row yet. They're going to draw for turn. It must be the Gozen match that's the problem. We must have worms in hand. They're going to Yang Zing Creation. They now have a Swanee, and we've got a face down monster. They'll draw for turn. They're going to go into battle phase with the Swanee. There's the Alien Warrior, going to give him a couple of counters. Not really going to matter. There aren't any other alien monsters that have the effect in the deck. Let's see what we can get. We're going to set yet another monster. Okay. This does stave them off because they do still have Swanee under Gozen match. It means they'll only be able to summon other Swanees until Kingdom Come, basically. We're going to set a monster. At some point, this is going to be something that isn't going to die to Swanee. Can we get a Solidarity in rotation? There's Granadora. Granadora does not lose to Swanee unless they Nyami it. Unfortunately, Nyami is basically the out under these situations. They're going to draw for turn. They're going to go for Recoil. Recoil can't really do anything, but we are going to take a fuck ton of damage off this battle because of Granadora's effect. Can we get another 1900 attack point monster? We're going to draw for turn. We're going to pass the turn. What is in this hand? Is it like 3 Worm Warlords? Is that what's going on here? They have nothing but Worm Warlords in hand. There's the Swanee getting destroyed. That's going to summon out the Bishi. That does give us an opportunity to normal summon. We're going to set what is going on with this hand? What could possibly be in our hand that we are not using a single one of these cards? There's a Coral Dragon going to destroy the back row. There's the Alien Brain that would have been great if we had a monster to work with, but it seems that we don't. Just not what is going on? I feel like there is not a single hand that cannot play at least some of its cards in this deck. How is this happening? This is brutal. This is the Morphtronics all over again. The game plan is just falling apart to I don't know what. I'm going to save the replay. I need to see what happened there. But what happened was, at the end of the day, the Reptilliyang. We're still not done with our work, folks. Folks, a special aside here. This is what befell Borgerbot in the last game. We went back to watch the replay, and sure enough, 3 Worm Warlords drawn in a row into the Shine Palace. Oof. Yeah, it drew the exact 4-card combination it couldn't do anything with under those circumstances. That is unbelievably bad luck. I do have half a mind to just run it back, but let's try one of the others. Our second candidate, the second deck put into the lab, put through the hyperbolic time chamber to test for this very moment, is Doubles Miracle. The deck is exactly what it sounds like. The goal of the deck is to summon Naturias and then Miracle Synchro Fusion them away from the graveyard for Naturia Exterio, a monster that can negate spell and trap cards basically for free by milling a card and banishing a card from the graveyard. It supplements that with a bunch of destruction stops and 3 copies of Wall of Thorns, just to take out as many monsters from the opponent as possible. There are so many cards in this deck that summon Beast and Barkion between TG Striker, Naturia Cosmobeat, and Glow Up Bulb. This deck is extremely good at putting those 2 cards on the board and subsequently fusing them away. This is another deck that usually comes down to the wire, so we are in for an interesting evening. I don't know if it's just that some folks have channel points to throw into the toilet, or if we have supreme faith in Borgerbot, but whatever it is, it's carried us through to here. We've been hit over and over again, knocked down over and over again, but every single time we've gotten up, and today that patience may work miracles for us. Doubles Miracle deck has a 100% vote in favor of it. Statistically speaking, 2 people voted a total of 60 channel points. Even after all this time, I believe in miracles. Even after all this time, I believe in Borgerbot. But there's only one way to find out if the faithful will be rewarded. Let the games begin. All right, we have a dub in the rock, paper, scissors. I think going first is actually great for almost every deck we've got. There's the normal summon TG Striker, set to pass. Not ideal for a starter. We've got bigger monsters we could have normal summoned, but the TG Striker in attack position is at least going to keep us with a guy on the board. They're going to draw for turn. They're going to go for the double search. They're going to activate over their recoil. That does mean that they are going to be down a copy of recoil. TG Striker will get destroyed. TG Striker will search out the TG Rush Rhino. This is a monster that in combination with Cosmo Beat does get us Barkion, but unfortunately they're going to go for the blackout before we can get a Barkion on board. That being said, that takes away all of their trap cards, which means that we are pretty much free to do this as we choose. There goes the Barkion attacking into the pullout to get Bishi. And we're going to pass for turn. They have the Bishi in attack position, but not a lot to do with it. They're going to normal summon Beyond. This is a great window for us because we do have monsters that can deal with this situation. They've got Spider Fang, or we have Spider Fang. Bishi activates. Spider Fang can then activate an attack into Bishi. Bishi is going to use its effect to synchro into Hastor. This isn't great because it means that our Horn Needle is or our Spider Fang is going to get destroyed, but Spider Fang getting destroyed with a Hastor on the board isn't the worst thing in the world. We're going to normal summon another Spider Fang. We're going to attack into the into the Hastor. Hastor cannot be destroyed by battle thanks to Beyond. Let's see if they can get a tuner onto the board so this stops being a problem. We're going to draw for turn. They're going to activate Invasion of the Abyss, and it doesn't really matter because we've got Barkion. We're going to normal summon Glow Up Bulb. A fascinating choice of normal summon here. We'll attack into the Nyami. I suppose that clears the Nyami and forces them to use Reptilliyang Recoil. They're going to summon back the Nami. They're going to activate Bishi. Bishi is going to summon Palau. Palau cannot deal with this field, but King of the Feral Imps can be destroyed by battle because it wasn't synchro summoned with Beyond. They're going to go into battle. They're going to attack over the Glow Up Bulb. We'll take a fuck ton of damage, but Barkion is still ruling the battlefield. Glow Up Bulb is going to activate, summon itself in defense. We're going to summon Cephalotus. No, the Miracle Synchro Fusion is a problem for us here because that takes out our gigantic board of monsters, but we do still have the biggest boy on the playground. Naturia Exterio is incredibly powerful under any circumstance, even this one. They're going to normal summon out the Lamia. Lamia is going to search for Vasky. Now, they do not have access to that Vasky, which means that the Exterio is going to continue holding its ground. We're going to attack in. We're going to My Body as a Shield. Unnecessarily would have been nice to save that for the Vasky, but I guess we work with what we've got. They're going to set a back row. They're going to switch all their monsters to defense position. Hey, we've got at least some of their monsters die. We're going to Exterio. We're going to normal summon Striker. Striker isn't great because it's an attack position. We're a little bit low on life points, but they're not going to immediately kill us off just that Striker. We're going to draw for turn. They're going to Yang Zing Creation. We're going to Exterio. Yang Zing Creation will get negated and we can go into battle phase. Nope, we're going to summon a Barkion first. Okay, this is a huge board. This is one of the biggest boards I've ever seen Borgerbot put out. 2 trap negates, or a spell negate and a trap negate. Yang Zing Prawn is going to get negated by the Exterio. We have plenty of material for Exterio. Okay, all right. We have 2 giant monsters and they have nothing on board. That's almost game on its own. They just have 1,300 life points left. Can we stick the landing? They're going to set up aggro. If that's nothing, and it really doesn't matter what it is, actually, the Dark Bribe is going to give us a draw, but that doesn't matter. They have no back row. They have no hopes, and that's game 1 for Miracle. Oh, we might be able to do it. We might be able to do it. Hope is still out there. Miracles can be worked, but they've got to be worked twice. Let's go to game 2. Drive return. Who is starting out? It's Borgerbot that's starting with the Naturia Cosmo Beat in attack position. These level 2 tuners in attack position aren't doing us any favors. There's the Recoil, there's Swanee. Swanee is the biggest problem their deck has. Swanee is a giant monster that does incentivize Borgerbot to normal set monsters. That's 2 tuners, including the normal summoned Glow Up Bulb. Could our luck have been any worse the last 2 turns? They're going to go into King of the Feral Imps. King of the Feral Imps is probably the lowest threat grade of any of their boss monsters. It does search for most of their deck, but it doesn't really do anything on the board. There's the Glow Up Bulb. We're going to mill a Striker. We're going to get Giant Rat. There's the Barkion. Barkion is very strong here, and it incentivizes them to normal summon monsters. Ooh, and the Glow Up Bulb just ate the Nyami effect. That's wonderful for us because it does mean that they do not target Barkion. We're going to Destruction Potion Jammer away the recoil. That means that they've got nothing on board in terms of attack and defense position. We're going to draw for turn, normal summon the Giant Rat, and there's the Naturia Beast. This could not get better. Ooh, I mean, it could have gotten better if we didn't use the My Body as a shield there, but at this point, I don't know what to expect. Otherwise, we're going to attack in with the Beast. Palau is going to summon out a Bishi. Now, they have a Bishi, and they have another non-tuner on board. The real thing that's going to be trouble is if they can get to Vasky, but because they don't have recoil now, they can't get to Vasky. Barkion's going to take out the Yang Zing creation. Naga is another issue. We're going to go for Naturia White Oak. We're going to attack over the Bishi. We're going to attack over the Bishi again. They're going to go for Pulau, and White Oak is going to attack into the Pulau. They're now down to 1800. Any one of our monsters does it. We just need them to not switch everything to defense, and they cannot do that with Naga anyway. There's the Beyond. They're going to switch Nyami to attack position. Let's go. Let's go. There's the Earth Hex Sealed Fusion. We don't love to see it, but Naturia Exterio is gigantic. Can we do it? Is this enough attack points? We're going to attack for 900. Beyond is going to summon. We're going to attack into the Beyond. We chose exactly the wrong attack order to win the game this turn. They're going to summon the Lamia. Lamia effect is going to get Vasky. They do have the material for Vasky. This is as bad as it could get. They're going to destroy Exterio with Vasky. They're going to destroy the Barkion with Vasky. Okay, we just need to attack. We just need to attack. Literally anything does it. Yes! Your Vasky means nothing. Your Yang Zings aren't coming back this time. You can recoil all you want, but eventually, Borgerbot will work miracles! We've done it, folks! We have destroyed the Reptilliyang Zing menace, and we can finally move on to the remainder of the ladder, which does contain some very exciting 5Ds-oriented decks. Let's see what other cool things we can cook up for this episode now that we have been freed at last. Double really does have the power to work miracles. Oh, it feels good to be moving on to a new deck. And it feels great to be moving on to a based deck. Check this out. This is TG, or as Lance put it in making the deck, I'm a genius. This is really cool just because this is such a 5Ds deck. This is Bruno or Antinomy and Bruno's TG deck of fame. I'm really looking forward to this one. This does exactly what you'd expect TG to do. It floats and it makes synchros, and that's pretty much the game plan. Sonic Stun is a battle block, which is really cool, and it summons a TG monster or a tuner from your deck. One of the MVPs of Chaos Draft. This card is really terrible when it was printed, but for this deck in particular is extremely strong. TGs are one of my favorite decks of all time just because I love me some Bruno, and I'm excited to play against it. And because it's a fan favorite and one of my favorites, I'm gonna be bringing back Six Samurai. This deck got unjustly whooped by the Reptilliyang Zing deck, and I think it gets a fair shot, or deserves a fair shot, at the dub. This is a very synchro-oriented version of the build with 3 Kageki and 3 Elder of the Six Samurai. Not only am I running the additional Six Samurai non-tuners, but I'm also running the additional tuners. I've got the 2 Kagemushas and 2 TG Striker, which is a warrior tuner for legendary Six Samurai Shien, and you bet we are maxing out on Solidarity. The last trick this deck has to offer is 6-style Dual Wield, a great card against synchros. If the only monster you control is 1 Six Samurai monster in face-up attack position, target 2 cards your opponent controls and put them back in the hand. This card is going to be potentially incredible. It's an Icarus attack that doesn't take out your monster. It's the Samurai Warriors versus the Technological Soldiers, and I can't wait. In light of the battle of technology versus tradition, I had to ask, chat, what is more powerful between genius and honor? And 97% of them went with the Zuko path. You don't gotta be smart to have the soul of a warrior. And I believe that Borgerbot has the soul of a warrior. Let the games begin. All right, lost in the rock, paper, scissors. Let's see if that's going to bite us in the butt. We're going to open with Solidarity. This is great because it does mean that we're going to have monsters in the graveyard thanks to this TG Striker being in face-up attack position. They're going to go for the Magician. They're going to go for Drillfish. They're going to go into Formula Synchron, Draw, and Pass. That's a very beatable monster, especially with a Solidarity on board. There's the Eero. Dimensional Prison, 7 Tools of the Bandit. Let's go. Your prison means nothing for a warrior, for a samurai. They know no prison. Their skills set them free or whatever. There's an Anishi. There's a Shien. Let's go. What an incredible board we've got here. A 3,300 Shien and a 2,500 Anishi. Wow. That's a lot of guys on board. That's a lot of big old dudes. Oh, we love to see it. This is the iChallenge UI know and love. 3 gigantic dudes beating the shit out of our opponents, and even more gigantic dudes thanks to the second Solidarity. D-Prison's going to take out Shien. Unfortunately, he won't be there to see the victory of his people, but they will fight for their warlord, their daimyo. Is that the... Anyway, Kageki, we're out of cliche samurai stuff, but we are in this match. Game 1 goes to Borkerbot and the samurai. Is another one of those situations where I feel like there was just a glitch in the ladder and we ended up with a much more difficult deck at the beginning of the episode. God, I love to see 6 samurai winning. It's always cool. All right, game 2. What do we got? What do we got? 1 for 1 is going to discard Drillfish to get the Boost Raptor. Boost Raptor is going to sit there all on its lonesome. This deck has not done a lot of Synchro Summoning, which is disappointing because this deck is built to deal with Synchro Summoned monsters. There's the Eero. Unfortunately, Asceticism will destroy it during the end phase, but that doesn't really matter that much. Oh, Eero used its replacement effect on Anishi. That's hilarious. Unfortunately, Anishi is just the better card, but I don't think that's going to matter too much. Eero is very powerful, especially if we can normal summon another 6 samurai. Let's attack in. There goes the Warwolf TG 3DX2. Draws 2 cards, gives them a little Pot of Avarice effect, and they go to their next turn. Remember, this Shien's Castle means that these monsters are deceptively large. There's Monster Reborn to get Anishi. There's Drillfish. They're going to go for the Boost Raptor. Drillfish is going to get Draining Shield, a rare situation where Draining Shield actually protects us from their smallest monster. Drillfish would have dealt with our field. There's the second Anishi. The second Anishi coming back to pay us off in the end, and this deck is really wiping the floor with the TG deck in a way that we have not seen in this series for a long time. There's the TGX 300, and I don't think that's going to do the trick because we have 3 6 samurai and a TG striker. Oh, hitting the TG with the TG monster. Borkerbot has such BM in its heart. It is so salty from being beaten down by Reptilliyang Zing for so long that it had to punch the TG deck with its own ace monster TG striker for the win. Oh, that feels cathartic after so many losses to Reptilliyang Zing. This was our last official pack opening episode, but we are moving into the 5Ds finale. There are so many 5Ds decks left on the ladder, and I have plenty of surprises in store for you. Stick around for the finale. I can't wait to see you next time. Go forward in humble confidence, my friends.